Hello everyone, it's me, Fagenstar, and welcome to part 5 of my PS1 style low poly Pumpkaboo Gijinka tutorial. In this part, we will be rigging our character. So, first things first, let's go ahead and change viewport shading to display render preview. And let's go ahead and go under add armature single bone, rename our mesh from cube to Pumpkaboo underscore mesh, and our armature to Pumpkaboo underscore rig. Now let's hit 1 on our numpad and tab into edit mode. Grab this bone. Under object data properties, go to viewport display and check in front. Duplicate this. And let me turn on screencast keys real quick so you can see what buttons I'm pressing. So drag that up. Just pull it up to the top of the pelvis, and then hit E to extrude, pull that up to the top of the chest, E to extrude, pull that up to the top of the neck, E to extrude, pull that up to the top of the head. Then I'm gonna add an extra little bone for this cute little piece of hair on top of the head. You don't have to, but you know, I personally want to because I think it's kind of cute to have that move around. So grab this bit right here, and then extrude that down to where the arm starts. Extrude that bone to the elbow, and that bone to the wrist, and then that one to the end of the hand. Grab this bone, hit X, and delete bones. Now, grab this bone, go ahead and hit E to extrude that down to right around there. Then hit E to extrude that down to the knee, and then down to the ankle, and then down to the bottom of the foot. Now grab this bone, hit X, and delete that. Now hit 3 on your numpad. Grab this part right here, pull that forward so that there's a bend in the knee. Then grab the bottom of the foot, drag that forward like that. Now you want to make sure that there's a bend in your you want to make sure that there is a bend in your knee so that when you add the IK bones, the leg will bend properly. Now let's just make sure that the arm bones are about in the center of the arm. And if you personally, I'm not going to, but if you want to add IKs to your arm, make sure to pull this back slightly so that there's a bend in the elbow. Okay. Now go hit 3 on your numpad to go back into side view. Grab this part, extrude that forward, pull that out like that. Hit Alt P and clear parent. Drag that forward. Grab this one, extrude a little bit out like that, hit Alt P and clear parent. Now you're gonna want to do this with the arm if you plan on having IKs in your arm. Just make sure to extrude it out from the elbow, and then out from the wrist, and then disconnect clear parent for both, and then drag the one coming out from the elbow out like this, since that will be the pole target or pole vector, but leave the one connected to the wrist the same way you have the one sitting here by the ankle. Leave that in the same place, but make sure to once again hit clear parent for both bones. Otherwise the IK does not work. go ahead and go into pose mode. Grab this bone right here. Go into bone constraints. Hit inverse kinematics. Change the fold target to Pumpkaboo rig. Select. Oh. We'll let's make sure to name our bones first, since you know you have no idea what bone is what when it's just bone 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So let's go select this bone first. Go to this little bone tab right here, bone properties. Let's rename this one to root. Uncheck deform. Grab this bone. All this pelvis, chest, neck, head. I'm gonna call this hair since it's just a little hair bit. I'm gonna Alt P and disconnect this bone. But make sure that it's still parented to the head bone. Otherwise, when the head moves, it'll just kind of be sitting there floating out in space. We'll grab this bone, call it upper arm .L, lower arm .L, hand .L, upper leg .L, lower leg .L, and foot .L. Let's call this key V for pole vector, or you can put pole target or whatever. And make sure to add the .L since this is on the left side. And call this one IK.L. Okay, now with all those bones named, let's go back into pose mode. Okay, so select IK.L, and for the pole target, Pumpkaboo rig, and key V.L. Set the chain length to 2. And let's go ahead and change the pole angle. Okay, 90 degrees. Looks like it'll get it facing in the right direction. You want the bone to be facing forward, since that's the direction the knee is facing. Now let's go ahead and grab this foot bone, hit copy rotation, select target, Pumpkaboo rig, and for the bone, select IK.L, hit all of these, change target to local with parent, and owner to local with parent. Now let's grab this bone and hit G. Just move it around, make sure the leg is bending correctly. That looks pretty good, so let's right click to set that back to its regular position. Okay, now we can tab back into edit mode, select the whole skeleton, and hit symmetrize. Now, this is why you need to put .L for the bones on the left side of the body. So then that way, when you hit symmetrize, it'll read all the bones that have .L at the end and mirror those across. So now we have the arm.L and the arm.R. Alright. Let's go ahead and go through, make sure that we uncheck deform for the pole vector bones and the IK bones. You only want to have deform checked for bones that are supposed to directly move the mesh. if it is not directly moving a part of the mesh, you do not need to have deform checked. Now, and it's okay if you forget to uncheck some of the if you forget to uncheck any of the bones, because like we're going to be weight painting this manually, so it's not a big deal. There won't be any extra like parts of the mesh weight painted to some weird bone that's not supposed to move anything. And if you want to clean up sort of like the groups for weight painting, like, you know, you can just delete any extra bones that don't do anything. Well, you can just delete the groups for bones that don't move anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and if you if you don't have the irises set up where they move, you don't need to do this, but if you do, go ahead and grab the head bone, hit Shift D to duplicate that and drag that out to front. Make sure to uncheck deform, and this bone will be called eyes. Okay, now that we've got the whole armature done, let's grab the mesh, then grab the rig, but first let's go ahead and save that in case we make a mistake and need to go back. And then hit Control P and with empty groups. Now we can hide the rig, grab our model, go to Object Data Properties, and now we have these vertex groups for weight painting. Now, if there are any bones that you forgot to uncheck deform on, here's where you can just press this little minus button and it'll remove it from the vertex groups. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Well, let's tab into edit mode, click out here to make sure that you don't have any part of the mesh selected. Now, go into edge select, hover over the pelvis, and hit L to select the whole thing, then hit assign. Now let's do, excuse me, now let's do that with the chest, excuse me, the neck, grab the hair and the head, and assign that to head, and then grab this little bit and assign that to our little hair bone. Grab this, grab the upper arm, then assign that to upper arm.L, the lower arm, assign that to lower arm.L, grab the hand, assign that to hand.L, and then do the same with the right side. Then grab the upper leg, assign that to upper leg.L, the lower leg, assign that to lower leg.L, the foot, assign that to foot.L, and then do the same with the right side. Okay, now that we have everything assigned, let's go into object mode, grab our rig, put this into pose mode, and let's make sure that everything is weight painted correctly. So first things first, let's grab the pelvis, hit G, sort of wiggle her around to make sure everything is connected to the armature. Okay, seems everything is, so let's go ahead and grab the rest of these bones. Just grab this bone and hit R to sort of rotate her around, make sure nothing else is moving with that bone. And just go ahead and go through and just check to make sure that everything is moving with its correct bone. In order to just get it to snap back into its default position, just right click after you're done moving it. Okay, now grab this IK bone, hit G to move that around, and everything looks like it's been weight painted correctly, which is good. So now, let's go ahead and add the function to the eye bone. So let's grab our model, go into modifier properties, add a UV warp modifier, change, make the UV layer iris, go object from Pumpkaboo rig, head to Pumpkaboo rig, and eyes. And now, pose mode, this bone should move the iris. Now, if you don't want it to scroll infinitely like that, here's what you do. Go into object mode, grab our model, go to the iris texture, change from repeat to clip. And now, it won't do that anymore. Okay, now let's make sure Pumpkaboo is selected here in the hierarchy. Go to Object Data Properties, Custom Properties, add 2 custom properties, hit Edit. For the first one, let's call this Eyes. Select set property value to -1 and default value to -1. Set the minimum value to -1. And set the maximum value to some very large number, like maybe 1,000 or something. Since this will be what we use to essentially be a bit of an easier way to change the expression. So just set maximum to like some large number so you can just make as many expression images as you want. Hit OK. And then for the second one, we will call this mouth. Change property value to -1, default value to -1, change minimum value to -1, and max to some really big number like 1,000. Now right click on eyes, copy as new driver. So right click on this little value right here, copy as new driver, select our mesh. Under Pumpkaboo eye text, right click offset and hit paste driver. And under Pumpkaboo eye mask text, right click offset and hit paste driver. Now, when we change that, the expression will change. Now let's go ahead and do the same for the mouth. Just right click on the value for the mouth, hit copy as driver. Then on the mouth texture, right click offset and hit paste driver. And now our mouth changes with the press of a button. Alright, so that's our character, fully rigged and set up for and ready for animation or whatever you want to do with her. So in the next part, we will be posing the character, and I will show you how to make a simple turntable animation, and I will also show you how to render this out in a PS1 style. So I'll see you then. So thank you so very much for watching, and have a nice day.